The football team was in Florida last night, but Troy fans were still in the home stands. Find out why.
Plus, Troy students voted for homecoming representatives. Find out who's in this year's court. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for October 26, 2011. I'm Bailey Majors.
And I'm Judson Garner. Thanks for joining us. Homecoming is just a few weeks away, and last night Troy University students found out who will be a part of this year's homecoming court. This year's homecoming court will be Emily Evans, Sarah Maddox, Gabby Strand, Mallory Mann, Peyton Dismukes, and Cash Forrester. The court was selected by students in an election yesterday. Now the queen will be selected from a court via an interview process to determine which one best represents a Trojan spirit. Homecoming week starts on November 7th, and organizers say there are going to be a few changes that should encourage more participation.
We're giving more emphasis on participation in activities instead of just placing. So in the past it's been, you get more points for placing than you do for participating, but that's kind of been a little biased towards groups who don't do every single competition phase. So this year we're kind of evening the playing field out, so as long as you participate, the more you participate, the better chance you have of winning homecoming. And then we've added a bunch of fun little events here and there for everybody to do.
The homecoming game is November 12th, and the queen will be announced during the halftime of that game.
Although homecoming court was announced, that was only a small part of the action going on at Larry Blakeney Field last night. Rachel Ellis has the story.
Homecoming 2011 is right around the corner, and the Student Government Association is hard at work preparing for the busy week.
I'm really excited. Before this week, we were trying to finalize some small things, but now that it's starting to get into gear and start to get coming, I'm really excited, and I can't wait for it to get here. It shows your school pride. It shows that we really do support Troy. The theme this year is For the Love of Troy, and I think we can all say we really do love Troy University.
And leading up to the big event, what better way to get students in the homecoming spirit
Troy and FIU on a beautiful Miami night
than to gather together and watch a Troy football game in the stadium, on the field.
This is the field where the Troy Trojans play, and to be able to sit out on here, you see people throwing the football back and forth, kind of getting in the spirit and stuff, and it's just exciting. I think everyone can kind of feel the energy right now.
And the students who came to enjoy the game say it's a pretty cool feeling to see the view from the 50-yard line, literally.
It's really just cool to see a bunch of students come out here and support the Trojans, even when they're in Miami.
It's pretty neat being on the same field they play on, so it's pretty neat being out here, throw the football, watch the game, free food upstairs.
It's kind of exciting. You can look around and be like, oh, this is where they play. Sweet.
It has been a cool night here at Veterans Memorial Stadium as students are bundled up in their favorite Troy gear, but as you can see, the weather did not stop them from coming out and cheering on the team they love. Reporting from Larry Blakeney Field, Rachel Ellis, Troy TrojanVision News.
Danielle Percival will have the results of last night's game later on in Trojan Sports.
Since its inception, the Trojan Film Festival has provided entertainment for students by showing movies on campus, and it also helps students better grasp the ideas of the common reader. Last night, I had a chance to visit the last film of the film festival for this year's Common Reader Ransom. Tuesday night, students came into the classroom a little late and brought some snacks because they were there to attend the final film in this year's Trojan Film Festival, and it was a celebration of sorts. Some students were awarded for their active participation in the festival, receiving some gifts from the school, and this was followed by a lecture from theater lecturer Jennifer Sassaman on comedy. And then it was showtime. The final film of the festival was Mystery Science Theater 3000 Hercules Unchained, the 1959 Italian epic about Hercules. But this version, with a peanut gallery composed of some robots and an ex-janitor, was admittedly loosely tied to the common reader.
It's a stretch, but we wanted to use our imagination and our creativity, and so we gave the faculty who wanted to participate a little bit of latitude, and that's why we had things like Animal House that was really on the fringe, and Mystery Science Theater. So we wanted to have some fun with it as well as having sort of the nitty-gritty.
Cochran thinks the long-term future of the Trojan Film Festival lies with what the students want.
I think it's a really nice addition for students, especially for those who are freshmen, who are new on campus and looking for things to do in the evenings. So I think it's a great thing, but if the students want to have them, we'll certainly continue.
Communication and Fine Arts Department may hold another Trojan Film Festival in the spring.
And now taking a look at news from around the state, a high school freshman was taken to a hospital after being bitten by a snake during an outdoor physical education class. Authorities say the student was bitten on the back of his leg Tuesday afternoon at Huffman High School. WBRC reports that the snake is not believed to be poisonous and the student was taken to the hospital as a precaution.
Mildred Carter, who is Alabama's first licensed black female pilot, has died. She was 90. Funeral services for Carter will be held at 1 p.m. Friday at Tuskegee St. Andrew's Episcopal Church with Reverend Liston Garfield officiating. Burial will be at Greenwood Cemetery.
A Lamson County judge has sentenced a teenager to 2 years in prison after he pled guilty to sexually abusing an 8-year-old girl. The News Courier of Athens reports the judge handed down the sentence to 19-year-old Elsie Davis of Athens. Davis will also spend 5 years on probation and is required to register as a sex offender.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, last night the Trojan football team hit the field for the first time in over a week. So were they ready or rusty? Daniel Percival will be next with sports with all the details.
But first, find out how President Obama is taking steps to help college students. That story is next, so stay with us.
The president rolls out a plan to help Americans struggling with school loans. I'm Danielle Nottingham at the White House. Coming up, do students think it will save them money?
Over the course of time, Troy has consistently turned out quality graduates.
We're trying to develop future leaders.
If it had not been for Troy University, I would have never had the honor of being the Alabama Teacher of the Year.
We want to educate the mind to think, the heart to feel, the body to act. And we do that within the framework of one real university.
Troy University, in class, online, within reach. Troy.edu.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
President Obama is rolling out another plan to help Americans struggling with debt, and this time it's assistance for people with crushing student loan payments.
He says it's another step towards helping improve the nation's slumping economy. Danielle Nottingham reports from the White House.
President Obama ended his 3-day Western swing in front of a cheering crowd of University of Colorado students, eager to hear his plan to help Americans drowning in student loan debt.
And when a big chunk of every paycheck goes towards student loans instead of being spent on other things, that's not just tough for middle-class families, it's painful for the economy.
For those in debt, the plan reduces loan payments to 10% of their income after monthly bills and helps them consolidate certain loans with lower interest rates. Graduate student Shakia Seabrook is one of more than 7 million Americans who could benefit from the president's plan.
I don't think it's enough, but I think that him just recognizing that we do need help is a step forward.
It's no coincidence the president is promoting programs targeting struggling graduates. Young voters helped put him in the White House, and he needs their support in 2012. The president says the economy can't wait. The White House will go around Congress once again and get this plan rolling through an executive order. Grad student Jason Diaz is worried the student loan help could mean higher taxes down the road.
It's great for me, but at the same time it could hurt me because, like, where are they getting that money from?
Student loans are now the #2 source of debt in American homes, just behind mortgages. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, the White House.
A new study shows the flu shot may not be as protective as you think.
Bigan Chaban has more from New York.
Excellent ball. Paul Whitty is here to get the flu shot in order to keep his nearly 2-year-old twins healthy.
It's miserable when they're sick, so you don't want to be part of it or part of the reason that they're getting sick.
About 100 million Americans will get the flu shot this year, but a new study shows it may not be as effective as you think. The study in the journal The Lancet shows over the last 4 decades, the shot only kept the flu away from healthy adults about 59% of the time. But researchers say the nasal spray vaccine for children under 7 wards off the flu 83% of the time.
Young adults and older children have the best immune response to the vaccine. And older patients have always had a weaker immune response to the vaccine.
The Centers for Disease Control recommends everyone over 6 months old get vaccinated for the flu. And doctors say this study doesn't change that.
Besides washing hands and general health care measures, there's nothing else that will prevent influenza short of the vaccine itself.
Paul Whitty says any chance to keep his kids healthy is worth it.
And those are pretty good betting odds, 59%. I don't know, I'd take those odds in Vegas.
And the effectiveness of the vaccine is always a gamble, since flu strains can change year to year. Begad Shaban, CBS News, New York.
And now Danielle Percival joins us for a look at sports.
So Danielle, the football team was in Florida last night, and the outcome of the game wasn't really what we expected it to be.
That's right. It wasn't what Trojan fans were hoping for, but we've got lots of other sports to get into as well, so let's get started. If it was a game of halves or even a game of quarters, last night's matchup between Troy and Florida International might have turned out differently, but that's why they play the game of full 4 quarters, or even more if necessary. With a national television audience in the primetime spotlight and with conference hopes on the line, how did the Trojans handle the pressure?
Snap is down, kick is up, and it is no good.
Troy fell to Florida International Tuesday night 23-20 in overtime. And on a night when the Trojans had the chance to make history, they did, but not in a positive way. Troy had the chance to pick up an overtime victory for the first time during head coach Larry Blakeney's career at Troy. But instead, they lost their 3rd straight conference game for the first time as a member of the Sun Belt. Blakeney said it was a tough, hard-fought game.
It came down to overtime, and I knew that they were going to pound us after we failed to make the field goal. And, they did just what they had to do and got it down there close and lined it up and kicked to win.
The Trojans struggled early in the second half, falling behind 17-7, but momentum swung back on the Trojans' side when they scored 2 touchdowns in the final 3 minutes of the third quarter to take the lead, including a fumble recovery by Tony Davis, who picked it up and took it to the house. But despite those 2 scores, one thing stood in the way of the Trojans sealing the victory: the upright. Michael Taylor has hit 18 of 20 extra point attempts on the season, but missed one off the upright, and it proved to be the difference in regulation. That extra point seemingly could have sealed the game for Troy as the game went into overtime tied at 20. Taylor hooked a 43-yard field goal attempt wide left on the Trojans' possession in overtime, setting up FIU for a game-winning field goal on their possession. Running back DJ Taylor said it's the little things this team has to work on.
We got to ride the waves, and I guess we was on the low end. So we just got to continue to improve and get better. We have a great football team. It's just we got to get the little things together and come together as a unit.
Now the Trojans have another Saturday off to prepare for their final out-of-conference game of the season against Navy on November 5th. The women's golf team finished up play at the Blue Raider Invitational on Tuesday and finished the event tied for 8th with the University of Texas El Paso. The team finished with a combined 3-round score of 930. Troy finished 44 shots behind the champion Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. Troy was one of 7 Sunbelt schools that participated in the event. The Troy University men's tennis team got back into the swing of things this past weekend at the USTA-ITA Regional Championship played in Auburn. Anash Rushdie was the top performer for the Trojans over the weekend as he advanced to the 3rd round of the main singles draw. The men's team will return to the court this weekend as they travel to Tampa, Florida to participate in the USF Fall Invitational. Sunbelt Conference basketball media days have been going on this week, and on the women's side, head coach Mike Murphy has one player who has been selected to the 2011-2012 women's basketball preseason all-conference list. Senior guard D'Angela Sword was named the conference 3rd team selections. Sword started 29 consecutive games for the Trojans last season. Overall, the Trojan team was picked in the preseason coaches poll to finish in last place in the East Division of the Sun Belt Conference after finishing in that 6th spot last season. So Judson Bailey, the football team, had a Tuesday night game, kind of a little bit of an odd schedule, weren't able to pull off the win. It was a close one, finishing in overtime, but hopefully they can get things back, right the ship maybe when they go to take on Navy November 5th.
Hopefully so. We're always looking for a win.
That's right.
Thanks, Danielle.
Thanks. Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, we'll take a look at what's going to be in this week's edition of Troy's student newspaper, the Metropolitan.
Plus, it's been a sunny and breezy all week with cooler temperatures at night, but what can we expect for the rest of the week? Bree?
Well, there's a great possibility that we could be experiencing some cooler temperatures later on this week. I'll have more coming up next in weather. Out there.
Be out there! Be out there! Be out there!
Time was, kids did what came naturally. Spending free time running barefoot through the grass, wading knee-deep in streams, climbing to the tallest branch. But today, American kids are more likely found texting, watching TV, or gazing at a computer screen. They spend more than 7 hours in front of electronic media. Something essential has been lost: childhood's connection to the natural world. That's why National Wildlife Federation created the Be Out There movement. Kids move indoors causes a host of problems, from obesity to ADHD. But outdoor play can go a long way to improving kids' health, body, mind, and spirit. It helps them stay fit, enhances creativity and attention spans, and could even make them better students. Do your part. Be a part of Be Out There. There's a reason why they call it the great outdoors. Learn more at beoutthere.org.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
Troy University's official student newspaper, the Metropolitan, comes out every Thursday. To give us a look at what will be in tomorrow's edition of the Trop, here's Ed Bailey.
Good evening, Troy University. Here's what you can expect to see in this week's edition of the Trop. News will have word on the Chancellor's luncheons with outstanding black male student leaders. We'll also have the scoop on the recent IT upgrades. Features will have a student spotlight. Arts and entertainment will preview tomorrow's Greek reading in the Malone Courtyard. And sports will recap this week in Trojan athletics, as well as have a column taking aim at the NBA's lockout. And that's tomorrow's Trop Today. I'm Perspectives editor Ed Bailey.
Now Bree Sanders joins us with weather.
So Bree, the last couple days it's been cooler and it's been clear too. Is this trend going to continue?
Well, we have a great possibility of those cooler temperatures and those clear skies changing later on this week, but I'll get more into that in just a moment. Let's take a look at our campus snapshot. Right now on campus, we see that it's a beautiful sunset coming over Big Braves right now, so whether you're leaving class or you're headed home, you might want to sit outside and enjoy the view, maybe even have a little snack outside. Moving on to our current conditions, we see that we have sunny skies right now, temperatures at 77 degrees, dew points at 51, humidity is at 41%, barometers at 30.03 inches and steady. Winds are coming in from the southeast at 8 miles per hour. Take a look at today's statistics. The high today was 78, the low at 52. There was no rain today. Sun rises at 6:55 a.m. and the sun should set at 6 o'clock p.m. Looking at our temperatures around the state, we see Huntsville coming in at 76, Birmingham with 78, Montgomery with 79, Troy at 77, Phoenix City at 77, Dothan at 78, and Mobile at 77 as well. As we head into our current temperatures in the southeast, we see in our area we're experiencing about some mid-70 to upper 70 degree weather, and that weather trend continues as we move throughout the southeast. Florida getting into the lower 80s, Texas into the upper 80s, a lot warmer than what we've been looking at lately. Looking at our temperatures across the United States, on the west coast we see that they're experiencing about some mid-60 degree weather, but as they head into the Midwest, the temperatures get a lot cooler into the mid-40s, mid-30s, some even in the mid-20s, and as we head back into our area, of course, it warms back up into the mid-70s. Looking at our departure from normal back into the Midwest, we see that they're about 31 degrees cooler than what they've been experiencing lately, which is a great reason for those cool temperatures now. And back in our area, we're about 7 degrees warmer than what we normally are looking at, which is the reason why we've been having those warm temperatures lately. Looking at our current surface map, we see in our area we have about a high pressure system here in Georgia. Nothing really going on in our area, some cool light winds, but we do have that cold front coming in through the Missouri-Kentucky area, bringing in those moisture systems, so we might have a little bit of rain coming in through the rest of the week, so we might have to watch out for that. Looking closer in our area, we see that we still have those high pressure systems with the rain coming in, so like I said earlier, we might have to watch out for it. Precipitation forecast for the next 48 hours in our area for the next 2 days. We will be experiencing about a ½ inch to an inch of rain, so you might want to grab that umbrella and a light jacket just to be on the safe and dry side. As we look at tonight's forecast, we see that tonight will be in about the mid-50s, and that trend continues throughout the rest of the southeast Florida in the mid-70s, a lot warmer than what we'll be experiencing tonight. For Thursday, we shouldn't be experiencing any rain in our area, but we do have that rain coming in through the northern part of Alabama. And as we head into Friday, we do have that rain in our area, about a 40% chance of rain, about ½ an inch or so. And as we head into the weekend, that rain clears back out of our area, gives us a very sunny weekend. The rain, however, does move into the northeast and parts of Florida. And as we end our weekend on Sunday, still no rain, a very sunny Sunday, and we do see that that rain trend does continue in the middle part of the states here. As we look at tonight's forecast, we have mainly clear skies, light winds, a 10% chance of rain, winds coming in from the south-southwest at about 3 miles per hour with a low of 52. So you might want to grab that umbrella tonight just to be on the dry side. For tomorrow's forecast, we have partly cloudy skies, strong winds, a high UV index, winds coming in from the southwest at about 5 to 10 miles per hour with a high of 81. So much like today, it will be very warm tomorrow. For our class outlook on tomorrow, at about 7 a.m., it'll be about 48 degrees, getting to 72 at 10. At 1 o'clock, we'll be about 77 and 81 at 3 o'clock at the highest. So much like today, it'll be very warm tomorrow. Looking at our 4-day forecast, for tomorrow, we see that we'll have a high of 81 with a low of 53. Friday, we have a high of 75 with the low of 44. We see that 40% chance of rain. Looks like it'll be bringing in those cool temperatures for us. On Saturday, we have that high of 70 with the low of 38. And on Sunday, it'll be a high of 70 as well. So, Justin, we did have those cooler temperatures coming in, and they are going to get a lot cooler from 79 today to 70 on Sunday, and with a little bit of rain on Friday to help bring in the cool temperatures. Yeah. So we will have that weather change.
Well, that fall weather's really coming in. Thanks a lot, Bree.
You're welcome.